Hi, Teresa. Hi.
Erica.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hanging in there? Huh? Was it just going to be us? Are you still there, Teresa? You froze a little bit. Okay, there you go. Hi, who joined us? You may need to adjust your camera a little bit. I'm not seeing anybody. I see a roof and a window, or ceiling in a window. Huh. Amy, can you hear me? There you are. Okay, you need to tilt your camera down a little bit. There you go. How's it going?
It's going good.
Okay. I've got the chat box going, and the meeting will be recorded. But if you hover towards the bottom of your screen, you can open the chat dialog box, and then that way, if there's folks that call in, they're going to probably be, they'll be audio only, but some people don't have camera. So there'll be a fair amount of dialogue going in that chat box. Hi, Krista. And then Eric. Who else joined us? Is there feedback coming from me, or who's got the squeaky microphone? Amy, maybe test your audio settings, because I'm getting a really high feedback from your microphone.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, that works too. Okay. Okay, we'll give it a couple more minutes. We are officially starting. I appreciate that you guys taking time out of your morning to join us for our second round of Cafe 42. What we can do for those that have joined us via phone, if you want to unmute your microphone, if you've got particular items you have questions on, or things you want to discuss, we can kind of go through one at a time. A couple of things that I've been working on this week. I'm still getting some issues with the Idaho County selection thing. And from my visits with James on this, it appears to be at this point a user issue. You will notice when you log into the home screen, I have added some verbiage for people to make sure that they take time to read. I think when they're getting into those sections where they select their county, they're thinking that they have to select their state. When you get to that point, your state is already selected. So, and to get to Idaho County, they have to go halfway through the list. if they've made that initial selection on the family screen, then that will keep them in Idaho County when they start to add their member records, but you can still change that. I think part of the issue too, I think there may be some people trying to do their enrollments through their phones. I don't know how or why they would want to torture themselves in that regard as far as going through the enrollment process with such a small device. But one of the things I'm going to be working on with Susie is we're going to uncheck her ability for people to enroll into that county. So that may clear that up. That's also going to help flesh out if there's something else going in the system. But at this point, for what we've been able to test and look at as far as addressing that issue, it appears to be a user issue. Bev, I'm getting a lot of static from your connection. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I am going to mute your microphone because I am getting feedback, but if you have questions, we can either open up your chat box and you can type your questions in there, or unmute yourself when you do have a question, okay?
That'll be fine, thank you.
Okay. Okay, and let's see. Oh, hi, Michelle. You'll need to adjust your camera a little bit. I see you feeling.
That's good.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Hi, guys.
Hello.
All right.
Over here.
So we got, there's a chat box. If you hover to the bottom of your screen, we can open up that chat box, but I'm going to mute your microphone. And then if you do have a question, either type it in the chat box, or when you're ready for that question, go ahead and you can unmute yourself. But I'm going to mute your microphone. So what we were talking about is the Idaho County selection piece. That has added a fair amount of work for Susie and I to go through those records. She's been going through the member records to get you into your county. The other piece of that we have to do that I've been working on is going through all of the enrollments from October 1 forward to make sure the families are in there as well. Changing the member county doesn't change the family affiliation. So we're doing our best to do that. But I wanted to share with you guys a couple of things as far as looking for that housekeeping component and to make sure your enrollments are there. I have noticed there are some families that have done that initial step, but they haven't gotten to the point where they've added any member records. So I'm going to do, I hope everybody can see this, but I'm going to share my screen and I will do my best to kind of explain where I'm looking at in the system. So if you guys are logged into 4-H Online, you can kind of follow along. Hi, Rosie. So as far as this housekeeping piece, okay, and everybody should see basically everybody's seeing my 4-H Online screen. Just for those I have a video camera on. Okay. Okay. So where you're going to want to check for your records, and one of the biggest things that I've been doing as far as this housekeeping piece, where the Idaho County selection is, or if they haven't gotten their enrollment records in yet, on your families tab, this is going to default to your county. So you're going to, off of the dashboard, you'll click on the enrollment tab, the search icon, and then the families tab. In your county, you can select your enrollment date timeline, and that will give you an opportunity to pull up the families that have enrolled in a certain amount of time. I don't know if you'd want to go as broad as October 1 to now, but you can kind of go through month by month. And it'll pull up your families that have enrolled. Now with the work that I've been doing with Susie, and in my screen, I'm showing Idaho County, but you can see here I've got a Rexburg that I'm gonna need to go back in and change. Rexburg is not in Idaho County. But you're gonna wanna go through those because there are some that are in various states of completion or not completion. Unfortunately, we do not have an incomplete on the family side. We can search for incomplete records on the members and volunteers tab, which I would recommend. We have a lot of different filters in that members volunteers tab. I would search by role and look for youth and adult. And then as far as their status, I would look for incomplete. And you can check those and what it should pull up. Now you can, for me, I can ignore the demo counties one. The demo county is our playground. But you can see for what I'm pulling up in just at the state level, we have 257 records that are incomplete. So this means that they're at various states within that enrollment process. They have not finished what would be constituting, their record is in a pending status when they've gone through all the screens. So depending on what screen they're at or where they're at on that enrollment process, you know, there's a variety of different things. And there's a lot of people there that are kind of out in limbo. So I would ask with the county selection issue A and then just the record keeping piece B that if you go through those accounts just to make sure, okay, you know, maybe make contact with the family either electronically or via phone, confirm, okay, I noticed you got an enrollment in 4-H online. Did you run into an issue? If they said, yes, I did run into an issue, do some information digging while you're on that phone or in that email conversation and ask them, you know, okay, so when you did the enrollment process, maybe flesh out if they were using a tablet device or if they were using their cell phone, or were they using their desktop or laptop? The next piece of that, my standard default question as we work through using this system is basically, what browser are you using? And quite frankly, Internet Explorer, it just does not work. And there's a whole plethora of issues. And maybe that's where the part of this Idaho County selection piece is coming into play as well. I'm not sure on that, and that's merely speculation at this point, but we do want to make sure if these people are intending on participating in 4-H, then we finish that enrollment process. If they're a volunteer, then there's those other pieces that they need to complete as far as that certification process, doing the records screening with verified volunteers, and of course, the protecting minors training. But if there are youth that are wanting to participate, hopefully they're not in a market animal project because weigh-ins are already happening or pretty much done. But it would still allow them to get into the program. If they indicate to you that they want to not continue and not participate, you can log into their record, and I'm not sure at your county level if you will have the delete member option, so you would just simply log in. You will be on their first part of their personal information page, and if you scroll to the bottom, you should have the ability to delete them at this point. If not, just simply send me a ticket in Zendesk and let me know, and we can get those records cleaned up. There's no point in keeping them in the system. You know, if they're a returning member, then that's one thing. We can archive those records, but or if they think they're maybe going to return for next year, we can, there's some different things we can do as far as archiving those records. You may click through some screens, get them to a point where they submit, and then just archive from there if you know they're going to come back. But if you have questions or run into issues on that one, just let me know. That was the big piece that I wanted to touch on today, so I can open up the floor for questions. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen, so then that way if somebody's raising their hand on the camera, we can kind of go from there. So, all right. And for those who just joined, if you want, if you hover towards the bottom, there is a chat box at the bottom where you can enter in your questions. And if you are on the phone, just what I can do for those ones that I'm not seeing a camera on, I can unmute your microphones here. Okay. We have a question from Canyon County. I have a family that is dual enrolled. When I search for them by last name under the members, one of the kids doesn't show up and he doesn't appear on Canyon County reports. Okay, so is there second county participation, maybe like an Ada County or something along those lines? And if I'm understanding that correctly, there's some different filters that you can do within your custom reports, and I do have a piece on the staff help sheet page that kind of goes into how to go through and create a report for dual county participation. Okay, so they're participating in Canyon County and Payette County. Are you running into this why is this kind of a hit and miss as far as the number of people that you have dual enrolled, Diane, or do you have a lot of dual participants for a wide variety of different projects? We have a lot of dual members. Okay. What I will do, I'll share my screen again, and I can show you guys where to find that tip sheet. For Diane, if you've got a lot of different projects, the easiest way will be to set up your custom report, and then we can change the project filter. And so what I'll do is we can go through and walk through those steps. So what we have an issue with in the system, unfortunately, we do not have county project or the project county filter, and I have requested that. And the reason why I want that filter is because then we can specifically designate in our custom reports whether we're looking specifically for, we want to make sure that they're in this county. And with the dual, yes, in order for them to show, we need to check include dual county participation, but unfortunately that opens the box for all of their projects to show up on these reports. And that gets to be a pain where you have clothing projects showing up on your market reports and that type of thing. So I'll share my screen. And Diane, I'm going to log into your county and create this custom report so it'll show up for you, because if I do it, it doesn't quite work when it's at the state level for whatever reason. So what you guys are going to want to do, you're going to have to go through this. You're going to go into your reports tab. To access your reports tab, you click on your enrollment tab from the dashboard, click on the reports icon. When you get to that first list, your first option that will appear will be custom reports. And Diana has done a wonderful job of using file folders, not to get off a topic here, but this is a great way to organize your files. So let me see. Is there a preference, Diana, where you want this filed at? Do you want it under other, or do you want it project specific reports? Okay, wherever I like. Okay, I will put it under project-specific reports. So we'll click on the folder, and I'm going to create a report. And I'm going to call this dual county participant. You just add in a brief title, and then if you want a further description, we can make a note here, change project filter. So then that way, if there's other projects that you're running into on the reports you're pulling, you can either change that filter, or if your heart desires, you can go through and create one for all the projects, but that's a lot of work. Once you enter in your title, you click create. For those that have never seen the custom report side, there's a lot of different options you have on your custom reports. And the first piece that you get put into is in this report building section. Diana, I'm going to add in a couple pieces of information, but what projects did you want to have this report for today, for purpose of demonstration, or what is something you need? Typical pieces of information you would have in this report will be their first name and last name. When you do your custom reports, basically this is building like an Excel spreadsheet. So if you do a lot of work in Excel, separating out member first name and separating out member last name, those will actually make your first two columns in Excel, which saves some time. It is very handy if you're needing to create a report that you need to filter, be it by age range, or if you need to sort it out by, whether they're in different cities or different clubs. There's a lot of different things we have in there. We are going to, let's see, first name, last name, participation. So the participation and the key to these dual county projects is project club title. If you include just club title in your reports, what that does is that's going to trigger for your organizational club. So how the systems kind of work is definitely in a hierarchy, but when it's saying club title, then that's thinking big club, so your organizational club. So specifying project club title is very helpful on that. One thing I found, I have done a lot of work with Lewis County in particular. There's a lot of overlap both ways between Idaho County and Lewis County as far as kids participating in a variety of different projects. But you can actually filter out, if you know it's one kid and if you know it's one project or one club that keeps appearing, then you can actually filter out in the data and format options tab. You can take away that club title, and that's been a very handy little runaround. I really want, the filter that I've requested is project county, and then that will help with that overlap and that specification. So there's a couple little pieces we have to do in the interim. Okay, so then Diana, do you need age division, probably phone number, contact? Are you going to use this list for initial weigh-in, I'm assuming, or what other pieces of information do you want on this report? Done with weigh-in. Okay, so do you need just name, first name, last name, contact information, project club title, and you need to know their project club? Are you making, or is this for a specific club? I guess are you doing countywide or for a specific club? Okay, so specific club, Sagebrush Cowboys. Okay. All right, first name, last name, get member, member cell phone, and then family, primary phone, and find member email. If there's other pieces when you're building these reports that you need to add in, the nice thing about doing these is you can go back through and add or tweak this information at any point. The key with doing your custom reports is as you work through each screen, you do need to hit save. But since we're pulling from a dual county, we want to include second county. And then I also forgot, well, yeah, we're good for this initial screen. We're going to click save. The next screen, as you're going through the progression of building a custom report, goes into standard filters. And on this is where you can go, we can specify Sagebrush County Cowboys. And we can also do projects, sheep breeding. And do you want just strictly youth on this, Diana, or do you want youth and adults? And do you want a head count? And I'll get into the head count question here in a little bit. And youth only, okay. And then who is the particular youth that is in Payette County that we need to make sure appears on the list? Jaden, okay. All right. And do you want active and pending, or do you want just strictly active? Both? Okay. The reason I asked on the active and pending, you have youth that are in a variety of different enrollment phases, and it's still fairly early in the 4-H year. If you were to just strictly click active, then it's going to go only search for strictly active records. If you click active and pending, you're covering all your bases. Do you want enrollment status on that report, Diana? So you have that? Okay. So we've clicked those buttons. We don't need to worry about any enrollment date. We don't need to worry about any 4-H age stuff. With custom reports, less is more, and it is a tweak and refine process. I am going to bounce back to the report, and we're going to go into enrollment. And there should be enrollment status. So that will show up on the report, you're pending or active, and then that way you have that information.
So Erica, can I ask a question?
Sure.
This is kind of what you helped me go through yesterday or the day before with Lindsay, with Natalie Tracy.
Yep.
So down below, and I can't remember if it's under reports or where, but oh, scroll down just a little bit again. It's that including second county. What does that button do?
So we know Jaden is Jaden from Payette County, Diana? Okay, so if we did not do that, and we know we have members in the sheep breeding project from Payette County that are participating in your county, and if you were to not check that box, then that will exclude any of your dual county people.
Okay.
We have to check that, but we have to kind of do a workaround to not have all of their projects show up, or to at least get them to show up on the report. So there's a little massaging that you have to do.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, so we're going to go ahead and click save. The third piece on your custom report is the data and format options. So I'm going to, I think I've already, with designating Sagebrush Cowboys, we've identified what club, we've identified the project, we've identified project club, well that's club county, so I'm going to move that, I'm going to fix that. I got ahead of myself. Under your data and format options, We had specified in our initial report building project club title. So what we're going to do is go project club title equal to Sagebrush Cowboys. And then, did you want a head count on there, Diana? As far as knowing how many, a total head count, and what I mean by that is how many animals you have in that project. Okay. Your grouping is kind of cool. You can make some cool looking reports without having all this, you know, having sheep breeding show up 500,000 times, without you having to go through and count how many kids do you actually have in there. If you go, oh, let's see here. I screwed up. I need, I'm gonna click save. One piece I did forget to include on that report is just project title, and that gives you the column that you can hide. So we got project title. We've already specified that we want sheep breeding, but we're going to go back into data and format options, and under the grouping section, we're going to go project title, we're going to count records, and we're going to hide that column. And then on your sorting, we're going to go last name, ascending, and we'll go ahead and click save. And the nice thing about the custom reports is instead of having to go out of the building mode into the view mode, you can do it right here. So we can click on view report, and either this is going to work or it's not going to work. So it's an experimental process, but we'll see if Jaden shows up where they should, and if there's not a lot there. So, okay. So Emma is showing up, but not Jaden.
Okay, Erica,
Yeah.
Remember you had me go in, and on the first one we put equals to county on the
Yeah.
remember? And then we did the join, and I think it was join or. So on the top line we went
Member county.
yeah, we went county to separate it. And while you're doing that in there, so that's what I wanted to know, the difference of join and join or.
Okay, I gotta go. Okay, join and means they are this, and joining, adjoining, so they have to be in Payette County, and they have to be the purple sage. So that would eliminate your dual county. Doing adjoining or is it gives you that one or the other, if that makes sense. Okay, so member 4-H county equal to canyon, joining or project club title equal to sagebrush. Save the report. How many are you supposed to have in there, Diana? Because I got 29, but it didn't, oh, I did it, it's pulling all projects. Okay, we got to go back and fix that. Okay,
Erica, we went joining or.
Yeah, and doing the joining or is pulling in
Everybody.
everybody. So I need to go, I don't know if having, I'm going to clear the filters. I don't know by specifying the county if that's going to work in this case. So I'm going to do project, club title, equal to Sagebrush Cowboys. Save. Scott Emma. I gotta make sure what's going on with Jaden's account. So Jaden's not showing in there, so that means he hasn't designated. So on Jaden's record, he did not designate his secondary county. So that might be the issue there. And let's check his participation. Projects. Okay, so he's not enrolled in the sheep breeding or in the sheep project. Is he supposed to be? Oh, there he is. Yeah, he is. Okay, my bad. You go back to county. Go back to reports. And dual. Okay, where did it go? Active. Okay. Come on. Okay. Edit report. Now let's see if Jaden shows up. Okay, he's in there. So I'm showing 7. That's a good question, Diana. Is his primary county supposed to be Canyon and then secondary county be Payette? Okay. Okay. I think we've got your report to work. So we got that piece fixed. Were there any questions on that report before I go back in to fix that enrollment piece? Okay. I'm going to go back in. And it may be on the, he may have selected the Canyon, he may have gotten the Canyon County clubs because of the family. I bet that's kind of bizarre. Okay, I got that. Let me check member, check the family. So the family is actually showing their primary family, their primary county at the family level is Payette. Should that be Canyon as well? Okay. this may explain why maybe they're not seeing some of your information if you've had an issue with that, but that should be fixed. Okay, so we went through dual counties, explained the joining or. Were there any questions on that? I'm gonna stop sharing here.
Okay, Erica,
Yep.
you know, we went through the same thing with Lindsay, or not Lindsay, Natalie Tracy, but she still is only showing up under family to see, you know, if I hit enrollment and type in Tracy's, she doesn't show up. I have to go into family, and that's where she shows up.
Really?
Is that right,
Mm-hmm.
Dina? Yeah. Or it was the other day, because whenever we say something, you go back in and it's perfect.
So Natalie?
Tracy, right there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're gonna feel stupid.
Okay.
So it'll show up in families, but we're not getting it if we just go under enrollment.
Okay, what's her,
She's the deck load, the top one.
okay. Okay, edit. So she's showing her primary county is Minidoka,
Correct.
her secondary county is Cassia.
Right. So does that affect when we click on enrollment and she won't show up?
Well, let me go back to county. Maybe if not having.
Yeah, just click at the top and go to enrollment and search for.
Okay, so there was a filter selected for county. Don't have the filter.
Okay.
Don't, because you're already in your county. But if you specify specifically Cassia County, then it's going to eliminate in your dual county participants.
Great.
You filtered that down by county. So she is in there. All right. Any other questions or issues?
Nope, you're the best.
Erica, yesterday it wouldn't let me, we print off a enrollment form or a re-enrollment form for each youth after we make them active. And yesterday it wouldn't let me do that at all. It would just kick it out on anyone I tried to do.
And in which county?
Cassia.
Okay.
We run a paper form on each one of them because our internet service at the fair isn't the best. So a lot of times we have to work off of the paper forms.
So it's not when you go into the reports, it's under my member list.
Oh,
so if you went back to enrollment and went to like the Tracy family.
Okay.
And just log in under Natalie. And then if you go to my member list, down below that report there, it wouldn't print yesterday. Like the re-enrollment for current year. It just would kick it out. And now it's doing it today. Okay, I'll go in and try again.
Okay. Sometimes it could be a system or an internet connection piece. And I know that with the most recent update of Firefox, there has been some wonky things going on. That doesn't mean you should not use Firefox, but if you need to use a different browser, you can always try that as a second option, which if you wanted to try it in Google Chrome, you can. But it appears to be working.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Rosie said she has a question for you.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I had to go get the shirt. I think I have under my reports a t-shirt report. I need to know, because we'll be adding the sheep, the goats, and turkeys all go on, you know, the buyers. They do a buyer shirt.
Uh-huh.
How do I get that to, I know it's got to be in the data thing to sort that for the shirt sizes.
Okay, so you're sorting. If you go to, so Rosie has a report, custom report, spit it out, Theo. T-shirt size. That is one of those pieces of information that we collect for everybody when they do their initial enrollment. One thing you need to keep aware of that we had to learn the hard way this year with KYG is not everybody pays attention to what size they put in. So we have some youth that indicated youth small, youth medium. That probably will become a required field here just so people pay attention to it and update their t-shirt size. But we had some raised eyebrows. But to do some sorting, you can go to data and format options. If you scroll down to about half, well, a little over half over the page, you can, if you've got that in your initial report side, you can select that title to do your sorting, and it says ascending. So either that, so let's take a look at that and see how that, if that works. Do you want a t-shirt count? So you do have, do you want to count by size?
I want it by size. We also do one for clubs when we go to hand them out, but so I would just do it the same way. Yeah.
So what we'll do, we want to do t-shirt size, and then we can also do count records. And then we can hide that grouping column so it's just one band per size, so it doesn't show up.
Okay.
Let's, I'll make a couple of changes here and you can take a look at it, see if that's what you want. So what it should do, so you have your adult 2X, you have 2. You have 1 for Burley FFA and 1 for Crafty Critters. Adult 3X, you have 1 for Crafty Critters. Adult large, you have 42. You have A to Z club, and then you have your counts by club. Is that what you need?
Oh yeah, that's going to make everything so much simpler. Thank you.
Okay. And one thing about when you do these formats, if you are to export your, you know, particularly with the grouping, if you do a lot of work in Excel, don't do the grouping stuff, because this is just going to be stuff you're going to have to delete out of your Excel spreadsheet. It's much easier to pick out your meat and potatoes of what you need, then do a right click and export to Excel, and then you can set up your filters that way. But if you're wanting nitty gritty and to get counts like that and you're going to just print it off, which honestly this is pretty slick. It gives you not only what your total number is going to be, but it's broken out by club. There's a lot of different, you know, you can just go from there and you can run that report and you're good to go.
Well, see, this way our volunteers can come in, and when they put them together, you know, they'll have a place for every club and just say, oh, we need 2X here. For this club, we need 1. For this club, we need. So that's going to make it so much easier for them.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. We got about 15 minutes left. Any other questions or another item I can share for you guys? So we talked about the Idaho County doing some of that enrollment house cleaning. If you have families that are saying that they enrolled but you're not seeing it on their side, If you have situations like that, that's 9 times out of 10 a duplicate account issue. And instead of searching by their name on the members and volunteers tab, you're going to want to search for their name and or their email address in the families tab. And the reason why I say that is it'll sometimes families forget what email address they use. I cleaned up a triplicate, if you can believe that. I had a leader that was dual participant, had set up an account in one county with a different email address, and then had set up 2 accounts in her other county. And so there was I don't know how that all worked and how quite she got that all managed to do that, but definitely search for your families. If they're calling you and you're not, particularly if you can't pull up a member record or something's different with that record, searching by families is a good thing. You do need to make sure if you do a search to clear your filters, because it's going to pull up nothing if you have done a previous search. The system will remember what you have searched and will kind of leave things set the way you left it. Is anybody having issues still with the newsletters? We had talked about that on the last session, and James, we're trying to, he keeps telling me that we're good, but if we have an example of a newsletter or adding a newsletter within a broadcast email that isn't working, if you're still running into that issue, please send that to me, or let me know what newsletter you have that isn't working, and then we can have James test that. But he has assured me that is functional.
And we love it.
And if you haven't worked with that before, there's a couple different processes or steps you have to do with your communications. Those are all on the Connect tab. On the Connect tab, you have the ability to upload newsletters. And so this could be a flyer you will see on your home screen when you initially log in, or you should be able to. You'll see announcements and newsletters for like the archery shoot, submitting Zendesk tickets, policies and procedures. This is another way of advertising information, and given that websites are locked, this is an ability for you to communicate things out to your folks. It's there, you can manage it. So if there's information in that pipeline that you need to delete, you can go into your Connect tab. If you click on your newsletters icon, you can house clean this at any point. Or if you need the information to still show for your managers, if you're sharing that information can show for them and it doesn't show for your families. So you have a lot of different options. When it comes to sharing your newsletters, the first part, or like within a broadcast email, first part would be uploading the newsletter within 4-H Online. You don't have to share it, so it can just stay in this queue. Like I have Leaders Corner, so they're there, and so that means it would not show within the system, but it is uploaded, which you have to do to attach it in a broadcast email. The second part of broadcast emails is you have to create your custom report. So that's going to identify what population you're going to target with that email. And then once you get to that point of building your broadcast email, which again is back in your Connect tab, then you just simply build your email, and you can attach that newsletter. And it doesn't physically attach it, it's just referencing that. It will be a merged document, and there is a tip sheet on the staff help sheet page where you can go to, let's see here, where is that? Connect and communication. So you have to scroll down a little ways, but under connect and communication, broadcast, email, and add a document, then the process is sending. So those tip sheets are there. Since we're on the page and we're getting ready to close, I do have a new, if you go to your staff help sheet page, this should be all bookmarked on your guys' page. There's a lot of information there. We do have some webinars, so if you have new summer staff or interns coming in this summer, they're going to be doing work in 4-H online. There's a lot of stuff right here that'll give you a pretty good crash course on 4-H online. But all of the tip sheets have not gone away, and I'm trying to clean this up to make it a little bit easier to go through. I also have a reporting section, so if you guys are gearing up for your summer programming or have been doing programs, you need to make sure you're tracking that information. Your group enrollment forms, you can download the Word version of that. It's all ready to rock and roll. And if you have educators that are doing programming, and if you have them doing a lot of youth programming, they really should be reporting into 4-H online. There's no reason why they can't do that. If they got to report it for CALS plan, they can do that. But this paperwork is set up to where this pretty much follows nose to toes what you need to capture on a group enrollment form for 4-H online. They're going to need that same information for CALS plan. So if you have somebody that's got questions on that, please let me know. But the paperwork is there, and it's a Word document, one of the few pieces of information I post on there that's live, so you guys can tweak and edit that as you need to. But on the Cafe 42 page, I wanted to show you guys that. This is going to be all things, so there's a monthly dialogue for you guys to come back and reference. And if you miss a session, our game plan for this is to do it monthly. But if you miss a session, you'll be able to see the chat log. You can go through with the questions. We don't have a lot going today on the chat log, but on our first session, we had a fair amount of questions. But they'll have the chat log, and then the sessions are recorded, so it is a little long, but if you wanted to listen in on the session as to what was covered and see the screenshots and that type of thing, or if you can only access the meeting via phone, but once you get back in the office, you want to see how all that's done, that option is there. So that's right on the same page. Not the same page as staff help sheets, but it's in that same house, if you will. But I appreciate everybody's time. Unless there are further questions, we're going to call it a day.
Thanks, Erica. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a great day.
Leave meeting.
Bye, guys.
Bye.